Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Motor Speedway of the South for the Dinoco 400 Duels. We have two duels here this afternoon, Duel 1 and Duel 2. Now, these duels are very similar to the ones in real life NASCAR for the Daytona 500. Those duels are the race for the starting grid that determines the starting grid for the Daytona 500. It's the same thing here. You have Duel 1, Duel 2. You have Duel 1 starts the. You have Duel 1 that is the basically like the inside row, and Duel 2 is the outside row. For example, if you win Duel 1 in both the Dinoco Cup Series or the Daytona 500, if you win Duel 1, you start third. If you win Duel 2, you start fourth. If you finish second in Duel 1, you start fifth, and so on and so on. So on and so forth. Anyways, in Duel 1, the locked in drivers, the drivers that have guaranteed a position into the Dinoco 400 due to winning a race or having won the 400 last year are Corvette, Spinner, and Nigel Gearsley. Even though they are locked into this event, they still have to race because otherwise we wouldn't know where they're going to be qualifying at. Now, for the guys who qualified on the front row, Shu Todoroki and Rahul Sarul, they do not have to race tonight, and they're not going to race tonight because of the possibility of losing that front row spot. And we already know where they're going to be qualifying at. They are going to be on the front row. In Duel 2, the drivers that are locked in are Bobby Swift, Cal Weathers, and that's actually it. That's actually it. Anyways, in Duel 1, the bottom two lowest drivers have to go to the last chance qualifying race. In Duel 2, the same thing. The bottom two drivers, the slowest, have to do the last chance qualifier race. And in the last chance qualifying race, the highest positioned driver will make the show. Anyways, like I mentioned, two duel races. These duel races determine the starting grid for the Dinoco 400. So, let's get started. Anyways, first driver in Duel 1 is the 9 of Nigel Gearsley. He does have a win this year, and he picked up that win at Florida for the Florida 500. That was the season opener race. Let's see what Nigel can do. And that was a pretty slow lap. Here is the 20 of Jackson Storm. Oh, and Jackson Storm has crashed out. Jackson Storm's crashed out. He's probably going to have to go to the last chance qualifying race. Here is the 4, the German. It's Max Schnell. Let's see what he can do. He is a Dinoco 400 rookie. He is only doing the 400 and the 400 only. And that was also a slow lap. Doesn't have enough speed to get around the 9. Something that I've just realized is that of the 4 cars that have gone, 3 of them were World Grand Prix racers. Chanel, Gearsley, and Hamilton. And then, of course, Jackson Storm appeared in the 3rd movie. Anyways, here is one of 2 Brits in the field from Great Britain. It is Lewis Hamilton in the number 2. And that was an incredibly fast lap. He was actually faster than the 9 and the 4 were that time. Lewis Hamilton was much faster than they were. Here is the 76 of Krusty Rotor. Ooh, Krusty Rotor has crashed out here in Duel 1. He's going to have to go to the last chance qualifying race, the LCQ. Here's Cruz Ramirez. She did not make the 400 last year. Oh! She has crashed out. Cruz Ramirez has crashed out. Here is the king. He actually didn't do too bad in qualifying last night. And the king will be in a distant second. Here is another Dinoco 400 rookie, Marcus Carrickson. And he'll be in third. Here is the 90 of Paul Gonrev. Ooh, slow lap. He makes contact with the number 121. However, I did mention this yesterday, you are allowed to like hit and bump at each other. He made contact with him. I'm going to let that slide because he only hit the number 121, and when he did hit him, it was kind of like that was the most peaceful and calm crash you ever see. And I know that's kind of a peaceful and crash. That's kind of an oxymoron, but it's true. Nothing else was. No other cars were hit in that wreck. So I'm just gonna let that slide for now. It's not gonna do that when it comes to the race. When it comes to the race, if the number 90 does that, then that will result in a DNF for both cars. But it's just the duels. Anyways, here is the 86 car of Chick Hicks. And that was the slowest lap of the day. Very slow, in fact, for him. Here's the 5 with Miguel Camino. Oh, Miguel Camino's crashed out. You know something? I think that we're going to have more than 2 cars in the LCQs because Camino's crashed out. Ramirez has crashed out. And the LCQs will be tomorrow. And the Dinoco 400 itself will be Saturday. Anyways, here's your defending Dinoco 400 winner, Cam Spinner. Great run on the back straightaway, Cam. He's up to second now. Here's the 84, Davey Apex. Ooh, he's going to hit Max Chanel. If I let the number 90 hitting the 121 slide, I should probably let that one slide too. Although that was not a very good qualifying lap from the 84. Here is another Dinoco 400 rookie. He is based off of a 3-time Winston Cup champion, an 84-time NASCAR Cup Series winner, and the 1989 Daytona 500 winner. It's Daryl Cartrip. I almost said Daryl Waltrip. Daryl Cartrip, DC, in the number 17 car. Oh, DC is wrecked out here in duel number 1. Look at all that damage on the hood. I did that when I was a kid. I've had this thing for, I'm going to say, 11, 12 years maybe. Because Cars 2 came out a decade ago. And that was, and Daryl Cartrip was in all 3 movies. I don't know if he had a diecast made in all 3 movies. He definitely did in Cars 2 when he when his broadcasting partner was Brent Mustangburger and David Hopscap. Anyways, here's the 12 of Ryan Inside Laney. He struggled big time in qualifying last night. And he struggled once again. But at least he's faster than Chick Hicks. Here's a 62 of Lauren Tunn in the Napa Auto Parts car. Almost made severe contact with the 12, just not a very fast lap. 3 cars left to go. Here is Danny Suarez in the number 99 car. Suarez is going to get around Nigel Gearsley. So far, everyone else is locked. Everyone from the leader, Lewis Hamilton, Cam Spinner, the King, they are locked in. But as far as the guys that are on speed, the bottom 2, those guys being the 84 and Max Chanel, they will have to race their way in the LCQ. And originally it was just going to be the bottom 2, but because we've had so many drivers crash out, I guess we're going to have to make the LCQ race feature more drivers. Anyways, here is the 74 of Slider Petrolski. It was a slow lap, but at least he didn't crash out. Because to tell you the truth, he's barely raced this season. That whole team, the 74, 84, and the 64, that whole team has failed to race has failed to compete in a race where all 3 of the drivers were in it. It's either the 84 and the 64, 84, 74. I think at some point, sometimes in the season, it's been just the 84. The 84 is the only one. I mean, outside of this afternoon, but the 84 is usually the one with consistent speed. He's even got a 3rd place finish this year. So not a horrible lap, but he'll most likely have to race the LCQ. Anyways, final car in duel number 1. It is Jeff Gorvat, the 3-time race winner this year. Oh, Jeff Gorvat has crashed out in duel number 1. He's crashed out. However, lucky for him, he is already locked into the Dinoco 400. He has made the show due to winning a race. Him crashing out just simply means that he will start towards the rear come race day. So Jeff Gorvat has crashed out. His buddy Lewis Hamilton, on the other hand, is going to win duel number 1. Duel number 1 goes to Lewis Hamilton. Coming in second is Cam Spinner. And then coming in the 3rd position, it's the King. And then it is Carrickson. After him, it's Gonrev, Suarez, Gearsley, Chanel, and then the bottom 2 lowest on speed, that being the 84 and the 74 teammates. They will have to race in the LCQ. So they will have to race in the LCQ last chance qualifying race to get into the Dinoco 400 because they're not yet locked in. The drivers that crashed out in duel, well, I guess we had the 12 and the 62. They were pretty slow as well, so I forgot to add them. 12 and the 62, they were... Actually, come to think of it, the 12 and the number 62 actually were faster than them. So the 74 is locked into the 400. 84 is as well. I don't know what I was thinking, because the 74 car clearly did pass the 12 and the 62. But I guarantee... So the 12 and the 62, they will have to go to the LCQ races. Anyways, the drivers that crashed out in duel number 1 were Chick Hicks, Daryl Cartrip, Christy Roeder, Jackson Storm, Miguel Camino, Cruz Ramirez. Oh, and Jeff Gorvat. But Jeff Gorvat, he will just have to... He will be in a poor starting position come race day. Anyways, that is it from duel number 1. It is Lewis Hamilton, the duel 1 winner. It's time, everyone, for duel 2. In duel 2, as I mentioned earlier, it is 2 cars that are locked into the event that are racing in duel number 2. This car features several rookies, including H.J. Hollis and Herbert Kerbler. Anyways, here is duel number 2. Here to start us off, it is the 68 of H.J. Hollis and the N2O Cola green and purple car. Not a horrible lap, but not a great one either. Here is the 1 of Ton Jr. And he's going to bump into the number 68 car. He didn't have enough speed to take the lead. Here is the 42 of Cal Weathers. He's already locked into the event. He's just racing, so he knows what position he'll be starting come Saturday. Holy cow, way faster than both of them. Cal Weathers to the lead. Here's the 10 of Eric Almiroling. And not a horrible lap from Eric, up to second. Here is the 54, Herb Kerbler, a rookie. First crash in duel number 2 goes to the 54. Here is the 23, Bubba Wheelhouse. And a somewhat slow lap for him. He's going to get around Ton Jr., not going to get around H.J. Hollis, though. Here is the 36 of Rich Mixon. Oh! Rich Mixon's flew right off the racetrack, and that is a DNF. Another DNF. Like I said, the LCQ race is just getting bigger and bigger. It's going to feature more than just 4 cars. Here is the 70 of Floyd Muvahill. Oh, wow. Never seen that before. Slow lap for him. Got caught up on a piece of tape there entering turn 3. If a car... I said this last night, if a car makes an abrupt stop, then that is considered a DNF. I let something slide. Something probably smaller than that slide in duel number 1, so I guess I'll let that slide. But when it comes to racing, I will not be that friendly. Here is the 22 of Logano. Very slow lap for him. Here's the 92 of Sheldon Shifter. Oh! Shifter hits the 42 and the 10. He made contact with both of them. And that is a multi-car wreck. You can bump into the drivers. You just can't actually hit them. I mean, in Duel 1, when Paul Gonrev hit, I think it was... though number 121, that was slight contact. This, on the other hand, you could tell that was contact. They made much more contact than they did in Duel 1. That will result in a DNF. So Cal Weathers is no longer the race leader. It is H.J. Hollis right now. Weathers will start towards the back of the field come Saturday. Here is another Rookie of the Year contender. It's Bobby Swift, the Bristol winner. Bobby ran the 400 last year and just the 400 only. So this is his second Dinoco 400 attempt. Oh, he's crashed out of the 400, but luckily for him, he is locked into the main event. He's just going to start at the rear. I'm sure the 68 car is happy to see that due to the 19 moving him out of the way to win at Bristol. Here's Carla Veloso. And I just want to give a quick shout out. Carla Veloso currently sitting 7th in the standings with 24 points with a driver who hasn't even won yet. Like, if you have that many points and you haven't won a race, you get 10 points running a race. This driver has been very consistent this year. Let's see what the Brazilian can do. And fastest lap of the day. Here is the 24 of William Byrev. Byrev's going to get around Logano and Tun Jr. Here is a Dinoco car. It is McQueen. See what McQueen can do. The Dinoco 95 car. And McQueen is going to not quite get around Carla Veloso. Second for Lightning McQueen. Just 3 cars left to go. Here is the 37. Fresh coat of paint. It's been clear coated. See what the 37 can do in the Dinoco car. And he was the fastest in duel number 2. Brian Rohrbaugh is your new leader. Fastest in duel 2 goes to the 37. Finally, a Dinoco driver has success. The 42, he crashed out. The 43 did in duel 1. 2 cars left to go. These cars are going to have to fight scratch and claw to get into the Dinoco 400 because they've been so slow this year. I don't know if they just have the speed to do it. Here is the 64 of Winford Bradford Rutherford. Oh, he hits McQueen. McQueen is no longer going to be in second. 64 and the 95, they probably looks like they might not make it into the 400. And our final car to go in duel number 2, it's the 4 of Kevin Carvick in the Subway Ford Mustang for Stewart Cars Racing. Let's see what Kevin can do. And a very, very slow lap for Kevin Carvick. At least he didn't crash out as the 37 wants to roll away. Anyways, that is it from duel number 2. Duel 2 winner. It's a guy who's never even won a race, but that's okay. He's got speed at least. It is Brian Rohrbaugh, duel 2 race winner. BR wins duel number 2, and he will qualify 4th. He will start 4th on Saturday for the Dinoco 400. In second, it was Carla Veloso. So she will be also in the top 10 as well. And then it was H.J. Hollis after her. Then Bubba Wheelhouse, who has qualified his way into the 400. William Byrev. Tun Jr. He was very competitive last year. He got a top 5 in the 400. And Logano, the runner-up finish in last year's 400. And that is it from duel number 2. So, I guess the 70. However, he's not locked in. The number 4 car is not locked in. So, in duel 2, the drivers that crashed out, the 54, the 95, the 64, the 62, the 42, the 10, 19... And I'm sure I'm missing another driver. I don't know if a driver flew off the racetrack in this duel. or not. Anyways, that is it from from the Dinoco Duels. Your Duel 1 winner, it's Lewis Hamilton. Your Duel 2 winner, it's Brian Rohrbaugh. Anyways, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Please be sure to comment, like, and subscribe. And don't forget the Dinoco 400, the biggest race of the year, this Saturday.